His cousin's dedication and pride had inspired Hank. But now, Hank was fighting mad. Taking the reins of his restless black stallion, he turned and followed the river toward the distant town. Someone was going to pay for this. And right now, a badge would be more of a hindrance than a help in bringing the murderers to justice. As he neared the town, he saw that saloons and gambling halls lined the road across from Rocky River. Perhaps he'd find his cousin's killers in one of them, he reflected grimly. Seeing Hank coming in, an old man on a mule had spun about to ride back up the street to the Silver Palace Saloon. There, Stumpy Potts jumped down from his mule and hobbled into the deserted establishment. Squinting in the poor light, the little white-haired man called out in a frantic, raspy voice, "Anybody here?" From the back office, Silas Tanner emerged, wearing his brocade smoking jacket. Tall and slim, with a thin black mustache and swarthy skin, Tanner was a handsome man in his 40s. He grimaced with distaste when he saw the little informer. But the old man asked for little more than drinks and meals in exchange for what was sometimes useful information. "Stumpy, I gave you money last night," Tanner reminded him. "We're in a lot of trouble," the little man announced. "There's a deputy U.S. Marshal coming this way." "So?" "He's been at the hanging tree. And he's Hank Derringer." "I've heard of the Derringers," Silence said, unimpressed. "Just a bunch of gunfighters." "I seen this fella up in Dakota once. He took 4 fellas in a face-down gunfight. Got all of them, and he wasn't even scratched." "So?" "Fastest draw I ever seen, and he didn't bat an eye." "Stumpy, you're worried for nothing." "I figure this here deputy ain't gonna ride on till he finds out who hanged Marshal Harrington. And when he starts poking around, he's gonna find out a lot of other things, ain't he?" "Whatever he finds, we'll blame on the vigilantes. But just in case, you tell the Smith boys I want to see them." Stumpy turned and hobbled back to the door and peered out. "Here he comes!" From the darkness of the saloon, they squinted into the bright sunlight. A tall, lean man with wide shoulders was silhouetted against the morning sun. His black, wide-brimmed hat was pulled down tight on his brow, and he wore a black leather vest with a shining star. He was leading a powerful black stallion, a dead man tied across the saddle. As he neared, the men in the saloon drew back, remaining out of sight. But Tanner foresaw plenty of trouble as he gazed at the lawman's face. About 30, the man wore an Army Colt .45 and a cut-down holster hung at his right hip and strapped to his thigh. The butt of a Winchester repeater jutted from his scabbard. Hank Derringer knew he was being watched and could be going to his death. Whoever had shot and hanged his cousin wasn't fond of lawmen. Yet he was so angry he would welcome any action that invited retaliation. He glanced to his left at the hurried Rocky River, a 20-feet-wide stretch of sparkling white water heading east toward green cattle country and the distant prairie. Its banks were dotted with cottonwoods and scrub oak. The river came raging out of the Rocky Mountains, which rose behind the foothills in great snow-crested peaks against the western sky. Prospect was set in the wooded hills, great land for cattle, with plenty of lush new grass and water. Oaks, aspens, cottonwoods, junipers, and serviceberry thickets were also plentiful, as well as bobcats, red foxes, mule deer, coyotes, and rattlesnakes. The slopes were home for black bears and mountain lions. Higher in the ridges, silver and gold were being mined. Greed was rampant, and vigilantes were out of control. "I don't care how you do it," Wilcox had told Bob. "Just clean up that rat hole. Hank can join you as soon as he delivers a prisoner to Canyon City." By the time he had neared the Silver Palace Saloon, Hank had already passed a gambling hall, 4 saloons.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.